innocent people do time differently than guilty people, and the reason that I know that because I've been both. And when you're doing time for something that you really didn't do, there is no rest. You know, you just have to keep going. I came up in this neighborhood. There was 10 of us, and most of the families in my neighborhood were large families like that. There was always something to do. If you was into music, there was people that was doing that. If you was into sports, there was people that was doing that. If you was doing mischief, stealing cars and all the rest of that, then there was a group of kids you could find that was doing that. Good morning. We came up in a period of time on the heels of Jim Crow, after Jim Crow, and before this real hatred of self set in terms of youngsters killing each other and like that for little or no reason, where people was preaching love and peace and brotherhood, but there were other challenges during those times too, the killing of Dr. King and the systemic racism and injustices that existed, the absence of a real quality education. Those were our realities, and I don't imagine that my life would have been that much different. Of course, looking back over, knowing what I know now, had I known then what I knew now, of course, I probably would have made better choices. So I was working security in the welfare office over there on Hancock Street. The witness, who came to be the witness in my case, Benny, was a technician. You know, he shared with me that he was a drug dealer, and at the time, you know, I was attempting to raise a child, and I had a child on the way. And so I wanted to put some money together to make sure that my family was going to be taken care of. And so I delved into the drug game with him. My friend Floyd came home. He wanted to cut in because he wanted to get on his feet. He was just recently coming out of prison, and you know, he had a young daughter as well. And so he asked me if I could introduce them to my people in order to get on board. The night in question, we jumped in a cab, went down there at 10 o'clock, went in the house. I paid him. You know, he started bagging up my stuff, put it on the scale. We were sitting around having a beer, sniffed a little coke. And then he called his brother and asked his brother to see my friend out. And as they went downstairs, we heard an explosion. We ran to the top of the stairs. We got to the top of the stairs, his brother was lying at the bottom of the stairs in a pool of blood. And he turned to me and he said, "You gotta help me clean up, you gotta help me get this stuff out of here." And I explained to him, I can't be here when them cops come. I just can't, you know, just give me what I paid for and I'm out of here. That's what I did. I returned to work the next day or the day after, and upon arriving at work, the police was waiting for me and arrested me and charged me with murder. I was like, how did we get here? You know, I might have missed my stop. Missed my stop, because I do not recognize this. I had been incarcerated before, so I knew people that was doing life sentences for murder and like that. They separated me and my co-defendant, and they took me to trial, and they made him the bad guy in my trial, and then told the jury I was his partner, and they convicted me and gave me forever. I've been in prison long enough to watch gods come in as youngsters, do the entire tour, retire, and watch their children take their place. I've also been in prison long enough to watch youngsters come into prison and grow old and die and watch their children come in and take their place. You know, I've always tried to break those chains because these children were coming from my community, and they was lost, and the system didn't care that they were lost. as a group, we were always cognizant of the changes in the law. And so when something like Brown came out, of course, people understood the impact of Brown, but they was disappointed because it was prospective as opposed to retroactive. And there were things that would occur periodically that would give people hope, and then the hope would be dashed. So as a result, people that were harmed by that has to languish in prison and even die in prison. People don't see that as being fair. Right now, I'm in this kind of holding pattern because the Supreme Court has not yet ruled in my case, so my case is still live. And if the Supreme Court rules against me, then I'm going to be taken back to prison. I've spent almost 4 decades in prison, and I've experienced a lot of loss along the way, you know. I lost my mom, so I lost a couple of sisters to COVID. Big sis, I'm sorry you didn't get to see me come home.
Okay.
I'm always going to miss you, though. Rest in peace. Love you. Since I've been home, everything has changed physically. My biggest challenge has been trying to acclimate myself to these electronics, these phones and these laptops and all the rest of that, which seems to be the lifeblood of society these days. Yeah. Now, you know, I have a daughter, God bless her, man. She's a jewel. And that's my biggest joy for being home, because I've been in prison her entire life. She's up here this week to visit. Okay.
You want to push it? Or you want me to push it?
I'll push it. I'm looking for cases of water, a couple of sweets, and I'll be good. And so I can rely on her in those small moments to show me how to use the phone and show me how to use the laptop a little bit. Okay, now I can use your eyes.
Like your bag today?
Huh?
Like your bags?
One, yes.
One bag? Gotcha.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
213.
Can you see it?
No.
You want this one?
What is it?
Yeah, it's food. And then put your PIN number.
Where's the enter?
The green button.
This one?
Yep.
I missed the first steps in a prom and all of those things that, you know, daddy and daughter dances and those type of things that I should have been able to attend. I'm gonna take this cot back, stick it over there. I'll be right with you. Now, don't get me wrong. I would not be honest if I said that I didn't have my challenges and my struggles with faith from time to time. I mean, I spent almost 4 decades in prison for something that I really didn't do. And so I would often ask God, you know, where's the mercy? You know what I mean? Where's the justice in this? I'm hoping for the best, but I always have to prepare for the worst, and to a large extent expect it.